To U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis and Championship Friday of the state soccer tournament in the great state of Minnesota. Alongside Alan Merrick, I'm Darren Swenson as we get you set for Wayzata. And
good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to U.S. Bank Stadium to the 49th annual Minnesota State High School Soccer Tournament and to Championship Friday. This is the Class 3A Boys State Championship game. It features the Section 5 champion with a record of 19-0-1, the Crimson from Maple Grove High School, and the Section 6 champion with a record of 19-0-2, the Trojans from Wayzata High School. The officials are leading the teams onto the field for the introductions. The officials for the Class 3A Boys State Championship game are center referee John Krill. The assistant referees are Kip Jackson and Scott Madison. The fourth official is Joshua Gerber. For this state championship match, Maple Grove in the white uniforms will be the visiting team. Wayzata in the blue uniforms will be the home team. We'll introduce the starting lineups for today's championship game. First, let's meet the starting lineup for the visiting team. They are the Section 5 champions, the Maple Grove Crimson. Starting for the Crimson, goalkeeper, senior, number 0, Beckett Carlson. Defense, junior, number 1, Frank Miller. Defense, junior, number 2, Owen Bersham. Midfield, senior, number 3, Caleb Mantz. Defense, senior, number 6, Ethan Smith. Midfield, senior, number 8, Gotham Barani. Midfield, junior, number 10, Ike Duell. Midfield, senior, number 13, Anson Karn. Midfield, senior, number 14, Felix Siafa. Forward, junior, number 18, Gavin Chabika. And defense, junior, number 21, Colin Ames. The co-head coaches of the Maple Grove Crimson are Greg Leninger and Justin Turner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Section 5 champions, the Maple Grove Crimson. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Section 6 champions, the home team for this game, the Wayzata Trojans. The goalkeeper, senior, number 0, Caleb Wagner. Defense, senior, number 2, Tyler Baker. Defense, senior, number 6, Alex Crane. Midfield, senior, number 7, Eddie Ignatius. Defense, senior, number 7, Jackson Widman. Midfield, senior, number 16, Charlie Pillar. Forward, senior, number 17, Lassie Koivukangas. Midfield, senior, number 18, Miles Redmond. Midfield, sophomore, number 19, Jeremy Cordero. Forward, junior, number 20, Aiden Judicus. And defense, senior, number 23, Evan Mahan. The head coach of the Wayzata Trojans is Dominic Duenas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Section 6 champions, the Wayzata Trojans.
As we are about ready to get things going here for the Class 3A State Championship game, we'll take a pause here for our national anthem as we get you set for Wayzata and Maple Grove. Our national anthem from U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis, the 3A boys title game to kick off 6 championship games right here on NSPN throughout the day. My name is Darren Swenson, bringing in Alan Merrick to the broadcast. Good to have you with us, Alan. 2 teams that survived overtime thrillers in the semifinals on Wednesday. They're playing for it all today. How do you see this matchup going, Alan?
Well, I think there are 2 teams that have got great winning records, and obviously one of them is going to have to forfeit that at some stage after this game. So it's exciting to see teams that have got that type of winning mentality. They're both scoring a lot of goals, and they both got great defense. So this could be one of those stalemates for the first half of the game, and then see how it opens up and see who are the players who can really perform under this type of pressure.
And the defense on both these teams have been very impressive this season. Wayzata has conceded only 8 goals all year. Maple Grove has conceded only 6. That's a very good total in an over 20-game schedule.
It's a crazy statistic. It's one of those where you go, these are obviously 2 great teams from the state of Minnesota, so it's going to be interesting to see who can take grip of the game and how fast they can do it.
And what is your approach? What should the approach be for both these teams early on in this game? Because I'm sure there's a lot of butterflies, there's a lot of nerves, but that's a sign that the young men playing in this game care. How do you get over that other than the ball getting dropped and the game getting kicked off?
Well, I think this is the biggest game in their lives so far, their short careers. And so they've got to find a way to get rid of the butterflies and the mistakes that might happen. They need to be careful with the ball. They need to start to play the ball quickly, play 1 and 2 touch as many times as they can, and test out the opponent.
This is the first of 6 games here on NSPN today. We'll have the 3A girls game coming up after this, Wayzata and Edina. And on the AA side of things, the boys championship is Hill Murray and Orono. And the girls championship, Academy of Holy Angels and Benilde St. Margaret's. And then the 1A side of things, Pine Islands and Broda Mazep on the Class A against SPA, and then SPA girls will play St. Charles today as well. After the 3A championship games, we will have the 3A award ceremony streamed on NSPN. Ryan Phelps will be hosting that award ceremony as well. So a full day of soccer. Where else would you rather be on the first Friday in November, Alan?
This is okay. Just walking across from the parking lots into the stadium, it was. It reminds me of many years ago when we hadn't got such a facility. We were playing at regular high school facilities, and Parade Stadium was a place where some of the games were played.
And a good look already for Wayzata, but Beckett Carlson in goal there to respond. Beckett Carlson, a Mr. Soccer finalist for the Crimson of Maple Grove. 5 goals conceded in 1,529 minutes. Obviously, he's a brick wall back there.
Yeah, he's formidable. The distance that he gets on his kicks are just at a pro level at this stage, and so I think Maple Grove will be using that as a ploy and a tactic, driving the ball into their target players and try to get midfield players to get the second and third ball.
Neither of these teams has lost a contest this year. Maple Grove with 1 tie this season. Wayzata with 2 ties this year, 1 to Hopkins and 1 to Minnetonka. Maple Grove's tie came against Roseville all the way back in September, so Wayzata coming in on a 12-match winning streak, and Maple Grove coming in on a 13-match winning streak. And both had to earn it on Wednesday, with Maple Grove coming from behind to defeat Park in overtime, and Wayzata coming from behind to defeat Woodbury in overtime. Wayzata trying to win 2 titles in a row, and that would be the first time it would happen in a 3-class system here in the state of Minnesota. Tyler Baker will have the throw in on the near side and the offensive third for the Trojans. Baker scored the game-winning goal on a PK in overtime against Woodbury. That was his first goal of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time, and a set-piece opportunity off the corner coming for Wayzata.
It'll be interesting to see their setups here and what portion of the goal they're attacking. Are they going to go near post? Are they just going to hopefully have something go into that far post? There's a far post.
Good looks. Goal! And the header goal coming from Aiden Judicus. And early on, Wayzata with a 1-0 lead, just 2:12 into the contest.
That's why I said it was going to be interesting to see where they attack the goal. And Maple Grove were a little bit slow on picking up where the mass of players were and the danger area. And it was a great header into the far post.
We'll get the goal announced here momentarily. As Maple Grove concedes a goal, they've only given up 6 all season long, and they concede one 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the contest here. Judicus with his 14th goal of the season. He has 3 here in the state tournament. And a goal kick coming up for
Maple Grove. Scoring for Wayzata, number 20, Aiden Judicus. The assist to number 16, Charlie Pillar. In the 3rd minute of the game, the time of the goal, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Trojans goal scored by Aiden Judicus. The assist, Charlie Pillar. The time, 2:12.
So there's the particulars and the official call on the goal. Aiden Judicus, 14 goals on the season, only the 6th goal conceded by Beckett Carlson this year. And Charlie Pillar, he's been stepping up here in the state tournament. He now has 1 goal and 3 assists, and he's on the scoring chart in all 3 games here at state for Wayzata.
It's a good time to find good form. Having assists and making your presence felt on the field early is a great way to get rid of some of those butterflies that might have been prevalent.
Now, from the Maple Grove perspective, do the butterflies increase giving up a goal that early, Alan?
We don't know. This is where we see the character of the teams, the leadership from multiple players. Let's see whether a couple of the real senior players can gel and get the team to be playing together. And I think that's they've got such class and have a presence on the field. And I think that a sequence of good passes, like we're seeing here now, where they're playing 1 and 2 touch and having to change the play, change direction.
And an elusive move by Barani as they try to get into the offensive third, but the Wayzata back line able to step up and try to transition back. Caleb Maintz touching up to the far side. Frank Miller, the junior defender. And the foul going to be called on Maple Grove. So a free kick coming up for Wayzata as we enter the game's 5th minute. Wayzata on a Judicus goal. Judicus now on the season 14 goals, including 3 here at the state tournament. He had 2 goals in the 5-0 first round win over St. Michael Albertville last week. Wayzata, their road to this postseason success. Sectionals, an 8-0 win over Rogers, a 6-0 win over Robbinsdale Armstrong, and in the sectional final they defeated Minneapolis Washburn 2-1. At state, a 5-0 win over St. Michael Albertville and a 3-2 overtime thriller. The victory over Woodbury in the rematch of last year's state championship game in the semifinals on Saturday as Beckett Carlson rising to the occasion. Wayzata had a couple of players crashing, but Carlson took the proper angle. Maple Grove on the other end, a 6-0 win in sectionals over Irondale, a 1-0 win over Osseo, and in the sectional final it was a 2-1 win over Champlin Park. Mance. Cordero playing some nice defense, getting possession back as Dual will fire one but wide.
I think that save that Carlson just made will settle him down, obviously, after that goal being scored. So he came up big there in terms of taking charge of the penalty box and was dominant in squashing any any momentum that was coming from Wayzata.
Caleb Wagner, the senior, the goal kick coming up for him. Maple Grove tries to keep it on their offensive half, but the defense played by Widman will send it back into the offensive end for Wayzata. Wayzata trying to win a second straight state title. They defeated Woodbury in overtime at a state championship game a year ago. They defeated Woodbury in the semifinals on Wednesday in overtime here at US Bank Stadium. On the far side, Wayzata looking for some open space, but some fine defense played by Ethan Smith. They change fields to Cordero on the near side. Cordero with the cross. Carlson left some loose change, but Frank Miller getting in the way. Wayzata's been very aggressive offensively thus far. They've gotten 3 or 4 good looks. Got the one goal off the corner. And Carlson will feed it in. And Charlie Pillar. The one hopper gobbled up by Carlson. Wayzata, very good looks here early on in this game. Seven 3/4 into the contest. Cordero. Nobody home for Wayzata on the near side. Siafa tries to transition back. Connection not made with Gavin Chabika. Chabika, number 18 from Maple Grove. He had both goals in the win over Park, including the game winner, including a equalizer in the 78th minute to send the game to overtime on Wednesday. Good defense played by Eddie Ignatius. Wayzata with the restart on their offensive half. He's Alan Merrick. My name is Darren Swenson. We're glad you're with us at US Bank Stadium. Breakfast at the pitch, if you will.
Yeah, it was an early start.
Yeah. But I'd imagine many of these players, being fans of the game itself, probably are up early on occasion watching maybe Premier League from overseas.
I think that's the case. It seems as if that has taken people's imagination it by force, and it becomes a ritual now.
And it is an early start for a state championship game, but I'd imagine sometimes you maybe have a little trouble sleeping because you're just fired up and enthusiastic for a game like this. That'll go beyond the end line, so a goal kick coming up for Carlson as we are about ready to put 10 in the books here in the first half. 1-0 the lead for Wayzata. Aiden Judicus off the corner, the assist from Charlie Pillar. 2:12 into the contest. That is the only corner kick that we have had to this point. And you talked about Carlson's ability to kind of transition solo there. You saw the strength of his leg off that goal kick, Alan.
Yeah, I think they'll try and capitalize on that as the game goes forward. They've been trying to get the ball into feet from midfield, and Wayzata have thwarted any of those attempts, so going over the top and down into the channels will be a way to break the status quo.
Judicus tried to find Koivu Kangas out front, but the timing just a bit off. It'll end up in a goal kick for Carlson, but a nice look as Judicus, who had the initial goal of this game, tried to hook up with the teammate Koivu Kangas. Judicus and now Koivu Kangas each with 14 goals on the season. They are tied for the team lead in that category. After that goal earlier this year, or earlier in this game, Wayzata on a plus 66 goal differential this year. Just an amazing statistic, as we touched on pregame.
That really does show a dominance that they had during the regular season. Those are ridiculous levels of accomplishment.
Good way to put it. On the back line, it's Evan Mahan. Jackson Widman tried to transition back to midfield, but there is Ethan Smith in the mids. Smith had his pocket picked as Wayzata tries to transition back, but keeping it in the offensive half was Anson Karn. Karn getting a step by one defender, but the back line of Wayzata stepping up once again. So we're about ready to put 12 in the books here in the first half. First of 6 championship games and a little bit of a joust. A little bit of a talking to between Pillar and the Maple Grove player. Just one of those aggressive plays, but I think both players realize that, hey, it's just part of the game of soccer, right?
Well, I can picture that they've been playing against each other for multiple years in their home areas.
Carlson, first contact came from Wayzata.
That type of service that was just generated there is going to be the one that propels Maple Grove to better things. It's I think that they'll start to show cracks in the defense, and that'll be interesting to see just whether they can capitalize on it.
Utilizing that asset of the Mr. Soccer finalist in Beckert Carlson. Wayzata trying to transition back as we entered the 14th minute on a 1-0 Wayzata lead. Judicus off a corner assist from Pillar. 2:12 into the contest. Throw in coming on the near side, and we have our first substitutions coming into the game. Gunnar Hendrickson, number 12, and number 13, Ben Eisinger, coming in for Wayzata. Hendrickson had the equalizing goal against Woodbury in the second half in that overtime thriller on Wednesday. Eisinger wasn't able to control the pass. And Beckett Carlson will have the goal kick. Colin Merritt, number 31, becomes the first substitution in for the Crimson of Maple Grove. Their co-head coaches Greg Leininger and Justin Turner. Dominic Duenas is the head coach for Wayzata. Wayzata trying to win back-to-back titles. Maple Grove in the title contest for the first time this millennium. Their last title game appearance was 1998. So needless to say, none of these young men were even born yet. But they're adding another chapter to Maple Grove history. They were at the state tournament a year ago. They're playing for it all here on a Friday morning at US Bank Stadium. Pillar rolling it ahead, Eisinger. Eisinger against the defensive Bershin. Bershin gets there first and forces the restart. Fine hustle.
Yeah, and he finished it off with a nice sliding tackle and put the ball out of play.
Bershin has been one of those good backline defenders, but he has a very good offensive aspect to his game as well, with 5 goals and 1 assist this year. A deflection off of Karn and another corner coming up for Wayzata. Pillar will set up the corner. First time they had a corner, it ended up in a Judicus goal. We'll see what happens here. Charlie Pillar, 15 assists this year, including 3 here at the state tournament. Mahan just inside the area. Beckett Carlson with the save, and Smith there to try to transition back for Maple Grove, and they're able to do so with Siafa. Siafa up the far side, and the slight interruption from Alex Crane will force the restart. But Smith hustling back to defend in the mids that time. Took away a second chance potential opportunity for Wayzata. Mance This is Karn changing fields to Smith. And a good opportunity from the top of the area. And Chavin Chabika. But rising to the occasion is Caleb Wagner in goal. One of the first shots he has faced today. And Chabika, who had both goals against Park on Wednesday, got the best look so far for Maple Grove, Alan.
Yeah, that was a good save by the keeper, Caleb. And he held the ball well and then just distributed it well. That will calm him down a little bit as well. Give him confidence and get him ready for the next defensive task.
Just past 17 into this contest, Wayzata with the 1-0 advantage. Judicus off a corner from Pillar at 2:12. Only the 6th goal conceded all season long from Beckett Carlson. Tyler Baker goes to the left foot. Carlson had a good look. It was deflected out. Miller going to clear for the moment, but Widman trying to keep it in near midfield. He'll give some ground back to Mahan, and Wayzata will continue to possess. Wayzata will have the throw-in on the far side, as we're about ready to put 18 in the books here in the first half. Anything standing out to you to this point, Alan?
No, I think it's pretty close between both teams. They're testing each other out. It looked like, in general, the players were starting to calm down. You saw players starting to do step overs and test their skill sets within the realms of the areas that are being granted to them by the opponent, and so it's a really tight game.
The early goal, the difference on the scoreboard to this point. Hendrickson inside the area. Judicus getting it deflected out by Bershin. Another corner coming up for Wayzata, their 3rd of the contest. It was from this near side that Pillar found Judicus for the header goal earlier on. We'll see what happens here. They'll play it short to Cordero. Towards the middle left side. Judicus gonna put it home again! Wayzata up 2-0.
He was clinical in that instance there. Great first touch, and then he just drives it into the far corner.
Judicus, his 2nd goal. He had 2 goals in the first round state tournament contest against St. Michael Albertville. Believe they'll give the assist to Pillar once again. And a 2-goal advantage for Wayzata. We'll get the particulars here in a second. But Wayzata with the 2-goal advantage against Maple Grove. And Maple Grove, a team that hasn't conceded a lot of goals all season. They concede a 2nd goal here.
Scoring for Wayzata, his 2nd goal of the game, number 20, Aiden Judicus. The assist to number 16, Charlie Pillar, in the 20th minute of the game. The time of the goal is 19 minutes, 2 seconds. The Trojans' goal, 2nd of the game for Aiden Judicus. The assist, Charlie Pillar. The time, 19:02.
So Judicus and Pillar teaming up on another goal in this game. And looking back at the season results, this is the first time this season, Alan, that Maple Grove has conceded 2 goals in a game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their mental approach is to the game at this point, because they're going to have to open up and take some chances. And so it'll be interesting to see just how they cope with that and execute. There's certainly nothing to panic about at this point, but it's a situation that they've not encountered before, as you mentioned. So we'll see their grit that they can come up with to salvage this game.
Judicus obviously was marked very well down low. Keeping possession will be Wayzata as we put 21 minutes in the book. Aiden Judicus now with 15 goals on the season. Charlie Pillar with 16 assists on the season. Some more subs coming back in. Lassi Koivukengas, also Eddie Ignatius, and also back in for Wayzata is Miles Redmond on the far side. Koivukengas couldn't control the awkward bounce, and Beckett Carlson will have a goal kick coming up. Wayzata trying to win their second straight state title. They defeated Woodbury in the title contest a year ago. Defeated Woodbury in the semifinals this year. In fact, Wayzata, a good look, and are we going to get a card here? It looks like we will. Redmond got the step, and it looks like Frank Miller defending will get the yellow at 22:04. Replacing him will be Chabika. Free kick coming up for Wayzata. And you can tell with the second goal, Wayzata's just a very confident bunch right now, Alan.
Absolutely. Goals are always a settler of nerves and putting you in a position of dominance. And if they can keep the ball moving around here now and get possessions, they can frustrate. They can frustrate Maple Grove to the nth degree. So
a good look for Koivukengas, but the shot just went wide.
Both of the goals were very, very well constructed and also finished. The header, the first goal, the goalkeeper just had to stay there and watch it go into the top corner. It was in the top 90. And then the power that he got on his shot for the second goal, that was just a thing of beauty.
Maple Grove trying to transition back, but Mahon keeping it in the offensive half for Wayzata. Wayzata over the last two seasons, a record of 38 wins, 1 loss, and 4 draws. The only team to beat him the last time Wayzata lost was on October 3rd of 2022. That was a 3-2 loss to Eden Prairie. Their only loss in the last 2 seasons. Dominic Duenas and company have a very solid group, a very solid team. And so far they're in control of this one. Up the right side it goes. Koivukengas. Bershin with the interruption. Siafa. Maple Grove trying to transition back. The back line of Wayzata rising to the occasion. Redmond couldn't sustain possession, but no connection made downfield with Sarkelka. Into the game's 25th minute. Wayzata with the 2-0 lead. Both goals coming from Aiden Judicus early on in this contest. Good crowd on hand across the way. Student section of both these schools fired up, supporting their schoolmates and hopes that they can take the tallest trophy at the end of the day. Charlie Pillar back into the contest and Aiden Judicus back into the contest for the men of Dominic Duenas. 75 goals, 8 goals against now for Wayzata on the season. First of 6 games today here on NSPN. And you'll have 3 of them, I believe, Alan, right?
Correct.
All the boys' games are going to be color commentated by the expert analysis of Mr. Alan Merrick. Maple Grove trying to transition back. Sarkelka interrupted by Tyler Baker. 50-50 ball. Wayzata will keep possession. Dominic Duenas in his 19th or in his 16th season as coach, as Carlson with the control, trying to transition downfield, but reading it well was Wayzata. Keeping possession, though, is Maple Grove. Sarkelka into the offensive third. Baker with some nice interruption as they try to transition back with Judicus. Judicus got stopped for the moment by Colin Ames. I mentioned Coach Dominic Duenas for the Trojans. The sectional final win was the 250th in his career. His record sits at 252 wins, 101 losses, and 60 draws. Siafa called for the foul, and another chance for an organization piece for Wayzata. Trojans leading 2-0. Pillar. First contact underneath came from Maple Grove. Koivu Kangas out front, shipping one ahead, but Carlson had a good look and gobbles it up.
The interesting aspect now that I'm looking at is who are the leaders within the Maple Grove, amongst the Maple Grove squad. Who are the ones who are now imploring their teammates to give that little bit extra? It seems like they've gone a little flat, and they need some impetus, and so people shouting and instructing their teammates would be a good first base that to build from. Situations like that where a player's caught in possession, where he needs to be playing two-touch, but it's the players off the ball that need to be instructing him of their availability. So they can't have individuals just walking through the other team's defense.
Sarkelka into the area. Controlled by Alex Crane now at the moment. 50-50 ball near midfield, and Wayzata will have control and back into their offensive end with Judicus. But he obviously got marked by Chabika. Wayzata will control possession. You bring up the vocal aspect of leadership in a situation like this. Is there a possibility to have that leadership by example? And maybe
it's a combination of that.
Okay.
It's really the verbal and also the doing of it. It's okay to talk a good game. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to demonstrate and execute. But they all fit into each other. They're like interlocking. If you get the communication, then players get confident that they can hold the ball or they need to play it. And then the instruction of the players that are telling them that they're open and they want the ball, their body language is seen from 20, 30 yards that they want the ball. And the gesticulations become a combination of the pass and the makeup of a play.
Hendrickson into the area. Miller with the clear for the second as Mance controls for Maple Grove. Colin Ames along the back line. Mason Reed chipping ahead towards midfield. Duel. Off the deflection, read well by Chabika. And Maple Grove into their offensive end as we put 30 in the books here in the first half. A 2-0 lead for Wayzata. Aiden Judicus with both goals. And Charlie Pillar with both assists to this point. Pillar is the only player on the Wayzata team to get on the score sheet in all 3 games here at the state tournament. Had an assist against St. Michael, a goal and an assist against Woodbury. In the semifinals on Saturday as Dual with a look outside the area, but the violation. Flag came up by the side. He was a little bit early downfield.
Yep. Yeah, he was. He was going to look across the line a little bit earlier and check his run. He was probably at 2 yards offside.
.31 in the books here in the first half now. The Trojans of Wayzata. The advantage of 2-0. They got on the board first with 2:12 into the contest. They scored another goal at 19:02. By the way, the last team in Minnesota soccer to win back-to-back titles was Anoka in 2014 and 2015. That was when it was still a 2-class tournament, going to a 3-class tournament 2 years ago. A deflection off the look from Maple Grove, and Caleb Wagner there to gobble it up. He'll take his time and allow his teammate to tie his shoe before clearing it with the punt. Smith keeping possession will be the Crimson of Maple Grove. Only their second title game appearance in school history. We mentioned their last one was in 1998. It's their 9th overall state appearance and their 2nd straight state appearance. Wayzata here for the 11th time in school history, trying to win their 5th championship. They were champions in 1985, 2005, 2017, and 2022. Runners-up in 1987, 01, 07, 09, 14, and 16. So historically, this Wayzata team used to playing on this first Friday in November. Judicus defended well by Colin Ames. In fact, Ames defended him so well, he'll earn possession from Maple Grove as we're into the 34th minute. Thomas Tasing crossing. Miller with the first contact. Maple Grove able to control for the time being. Mason Reed near midfield. Getting harassed there by Ignatius Hendrickson. Finding Ignatius and giving some ground to Widman to maintain possession for the team in blue. Couldn't make the connection with Hendrickson. Beckett Carlson will clear. As we mentioned earlier, this is the first time this season that Maple Grove has conceded 2 goals in 1 game. They've conceded only 8 all season long. The foul on Maple Grove will give Wayzata the free kick. But Wayzata able to score 2 in the first 19:02 here in the state championship contest. Barani. A foul that a blind man could have seen on Ignatius. Beckett Carlson will play the free kick.
And he'll be able to put this into the penalty box now from this distance. He could put this right on goal, right on the edge of the penalty box. There it goes. Actually, at the penalty spot.
Wayzata responds well for the moment, and they'll look to clear. They are able to do so. Leading 2-0 at this game from a strategic standpoint, from a Wayzata perspective. Are you a little more conservative with the 2-goal lead, or do you got to keep doing what gave you that lead?
No, I think you've got to keep on going. They've got to screw it as tight as possible. Pillar is doing a great job in midfield. He's showing class and ingenuity with the ball, and his positional sense is putting him in good positions to stop the passes from the back four of Maple Grove Crimson. So it's at the moment it's just one or two players are now dictating how the game goes. We've got we've got 2 goals from Judicus, and then we've got assists from Miller. That's just giving them the momentum that they're looking for.
And the 2-goal advantage to this point.
Yeah, that settles them down dramatically, so they can play with composure.
Ike Duel outside the area left side. Anson Karn, him and Hendrickson in a joust. Possession will stay with Maple Grove, as we're about ready to put 37 in the books here in the first half. And a stoppage as the center will talk to the 4th referee to making sure the administration of everything is okay. A throw in into the area. First contact came from Maple Grove, but the angle wasn't good. And responding on the back line was that in the person of Ben Eisinger, and a shot from about 20 out from Miller was gobbled up by Wagner with relative ease. And from a Maple Grove perspective, you do have over 40 minutes of soccer remaining. When do you start, if you're the Crimson, when do you start changing strategically to maybe push the envelope a little bit?
Well, it's basically you see this half out, and then you start to put a formula together that will give you a chance to give good strikes on goal and create a few chances. But when it's probably halfway through the second half is when they determine how close they're getting as to how many more players they release forward. At the moment they're playing a 4-3-3 system. And perhaps that's where you change that, so you've got 2 players up front, and they stay down the center vein of the field, and then you've got players going like crazy down the flanks. There's a chance here.
Good chance. Verani tries to keep it in. Deflected out off of Cordero, I do believe. Is it going to be a corner, or is it going to be a goal kick? It's going to be a corner kick coming up, the second one of the game from Maple Grove. Maple Grove with one of their better looks here with under 90 seconds left in the first half. First contact came from Wayzata, keeping it in the area. Anson Karn. Karn with the touch out front to Mast, but Mast had it deflected out as they try to transition back with Pillar. They roll it ahead on the far side. Judicus hustling with Ames, but Ames will get there first. As we put 39 minutes in the books here in the first half. Maple Grove with one of their better sequences there late in the first half, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, it's those crosses and balls that are tempting for players to go to. It's now who's got the most desire and abilities to climb in the air. There's just that little extra, and either put it into the net themselves or play it into somebody else's feet. Those are all areas that you look at and analyze to good effect.
Pillar double teamed in the corner. Maple Grove will have possession with 19 seconds remaining here in the first half. The countdown is on here in the half, and a foul on Ignatius. And that is the way we will head to intermission. Wayzata got on the board, 2:12 into this contest, added another one at 19:02. Both goals, Aiden Judicus from Charlie Pillar. It is a lead of 2-0 for Wayzata as they try to become the first team since 2015 to win back-to-back titles here in the state of Minnesota in boys soccer. He's Alan Merrick. I'm Darren Swinson. You're watching the 3A title game on NSPN.TV.
Hi, my name is Crescent, and I love working at McDonald's in Minnesota. My favorite part about working at McDonald's is how friendly and welcoming and just kind the coworkers are. While working at McDonald's, I have learned leadership skills because I know that my crew members are depending on me to run a good restaurant. I do every musical and play that I can possibly participate in. And that really helps at work because it helps me communicate with the customers better.
For job information, text APPLY to 38000 or visit jobs.mchire.com.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Local sports coverage can be found on NSPN.TV all year long. From the first crack at the bat in August to the final putt in June.
And that is good for the individual championship.
We are there. Subscribe to the Neighborhood Sports Network to watch events both live and on demand, including state tournament coverage in every sport. Email jobs at nspn.tv if you'd like to join our team of broadcasters and camera operators. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Local sports coverage can be found on NSPN.TV all year long. From the first crack at the bat in August to the final putt in June.
And that is good for the individual championship.
We are there. Subscribe to the Neighborhood Sports Network to watch events both live and on demand, including state tournament coverage in every sport. Email jobs at nspn.tv if you'd like to join our team of broadcasters and camera operators. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Two 2-0 the halftime lead for Wayzata. End of things. My name is Darren Swinson alongside Alan Merrick. Both goals here in the first half as Wayzata leads it by a 2-0 margin Aiden Judicus off of a corner kick, assisted by Charlie Pillar at 2:12 here in the first half. And then Judicus once again from Pillar at 19:02 in the first half. So Judicus now with 15 goals on the season, including 2 here in the state championship game, as the Wayzata Trojans trying to win back-to-back titles. They lead it by a 2-0 margin here. Again, this is the first of 6 games on NSPN today. Coming up next, it'll be the 3A girls title game. Wayzata is in that contest as well, as they will take on Edina. And that'll be a 10:15 start. Logan Greenwood and Mickey Wright will have the call of that one. And then it'll be the 2A boys end of things, Hill Murray and Orono. Mike Pedden and Alan Merrick on the call of that one. Dylan Corbett and Mickey Wright will have the call of the 2A girls title game at 2:45 this afternoon between Benilde St. Margaret and Academy of Holy Angels. And then we'll be on to the Class A end of things. Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa against SPA at 5 o'clock tonight. And then the 1A girls end of things, SPA and St. Charles tonight. And Tanner Hoops will have the call of that contest as Wayzata leads it by a 2-0 lead here at the halftime break. With Alan Merrick, I'm Darren Swenson. You're watching halftime programming on NSPN.TV.
Hi, I'm Nick. I work at a McDonald's in northern Minnesota. An important life skill I've learned here at McDonald's is time management. In the future, I'm going to go study accounting at college. And here at McDonald's, they teach me to be very precise with my work, and that's a vital skill in accounting.
I'm making a 2 spicy crispy. Thank you.
I would tell someone who's curious about working at McDonald's that they shouldn't be nervous about not knowing what to do or how they're going to fit in, because we will guide you along the way.
For job information, text APPLY to 38000 or visit jobs.mchire.com.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
I think it's really, really important that every high school student finds something to be involved in. Finding some way to get involved in your school and in your community is so important. It not only positively benefits your mental health, but helps you improve as a person, helps you grow, helps you make connections with other people.
These activities have helped shape who I am because it makes me understand the importance of being in something, and it has helped me for the future because these activities help you gain skills such as time management and communication.
Why do you choose to be an official?
I enjoy teaching kids about the game.
I appreciate the extra income.
I like the teamwork and the exercise.
I love the game.
I love the game.
I love the game.
The love of the game. It's at the heart of why people become high school officials. When you choose to officiate a high school game, you stay involved in the sport you played and the sport you still love. You give back to the game and you educate the next generation of student athletes. If you still love the game, join the game, become an official, a valuable part of high school athletics.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
As an education-based activities director, there's nobody more important than the coach or advisor for our students, whether it's in the fine arts or athletics, because we know that each child is one caring adult away from changing their path of their life.
If you look at or listen to any successful
person talk about how they got there. They never did it alone. There's always a mentor. And so we need those types of leaders in our schools today to help our young people understand what it means to be a strong, supportive person within their community.
He's Alan Merrick. My name is Darren Swenson. Glad you're with us at U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. First of 6 games on Championship Friday at the state soccer tournament. Wayzata trying to win the boys title, and how exciting is it for their school district? They've got their boys playing in a state title game right now, and half hour after this one, their girls are going to be playing for a state title against Edina.
Yeah, they're getting some great performance from their sporting activities in the Wayzata area. So that's really neat that boys and girls are matching up with each other.
As 40 minutes head to the scoreboard, teams will switch ends of the field. Again, if you're just joining us, Aiden Judicus, both goals in the first half, both assists coming from Charlie Pillar, and those two have been staples of this Wayzata team all season long. Judicus now with 15 goals on the season, including 4 at the state tournament. Charlie Pillar with 6 goals, 16 assists at the in the overall season, and 4 of his 16 assists have come at the state tournament. I believe, as the saying goes, Alan, big-time players step up in big-time games.
That's exactly right. It's a prophecy that needs to be addressed. Where I mentioned it in the first half commentary, that you can talk a good game. It's how you actually can complete the activities and the actions, and let actions take credit for all the work that's being done.
What are you expecting out of Maple Grove this half, perhaps from a different strategic standpoint? What are you expecting perhaps differently from Wayzata in this half, Alan?
Well, I think to get in the game, they have to close Wayzata down even more. And that's a tough task. But it's like getting that little extra oomph into your tackles, into your running, making the communications both verbally and visually and also physically, where a tackle and a winning of the ball back and then a distribution can be the start of a revival of their offensive threats.
Beckett Carlson out of his area to control.
So this is going to go a long way now, and now we've got to look at how they get onto the first ball. So now who's going for that ball? Who's now looking for it? And they missed that opportunity there. Nobody got on the end of that service. It's a little hopeful service. It's just getting it into a zone. But those are the things that make the difference in the final analysis of what puts them on a footing to be able to get in the game and stay in the game.
When you have a situation like that, as you called it, a hopeful chance that time, how do you win a ball like that?
Well, it's anticipating, it's having a desire to get into the flight of the ball and then get a touch or an actual header that gets into the running stride of one of your teammates.
Of course, the defenders trying to get there first too, throwing a kink in all the plans.
Absolutely, it's not easy.
Minute and a half gone by here in the second half as Carlson trying the transition back. You see the leg strength once again, but Wayzata with the first contact downfield. Miller will give some ground back to Beckett Carlson. A chip ahead, but there to respond the back line of the Trojans once again. Trojans trying to win back-to-back titles and trying to take home the tallest trophy for the 5th time in school history. And really, Considering there was no state tournament in 2020, this would be the fourth or the third state title in the last 6 years for Wayzata, since the one prior to last year was 2017. 2:40 into the second half. Maple Grove trying to get one closer. They're trailing by 2. A look, and Wagner there to field the hop. Second time we've seen a shot from a little bit of distance with nobody really around the goal area. Is that a decent strategy, knowing the fact they really haven't been able to make anything materialize down low, Alan?
Well, I think that's just the desire of getting closer to the ball and making sure that you make contact. It's, again, as I said, it's the anticipation of it, expecting to get there, and then getting your body and muscles in sync with where the ball is to make a decent touch, to either play it to yourself and keep a good hold on the ball.
Judicus tried for the header, but the timing just wasn't there. It's going to be another corner kick opportunity, so that'll be the 5th of the game for Wayzata. There's only been one from Maple Grove to this point. Pillar will take corner responsibilities. Once again, he had the assist on the Judicus goal in the early stages of this one. They'll play it short. Now Pillar will try, but it goes high and outside. A little bit different of a look off the corner that time, and Carlson trying to set it short, but nobody home downfield for Maple Grove. Pillar will keep. Judicus outside the area on the far right side. He's being harassed there by Bershin, but Bershin wins the ball. Tyler Baker defending well. Baker along that back line. He scored the game-winning goal on a PK in overtime against Woodbury, and Ignatius will get the foul there. And is he going to get a card here, or is he just going to get a talking to? Looks like he'll just get a talking to from the center that time, and Centra doing a good job of saying, here's the line. You got pretty close to it that time, young man. Let's not surpass that line.
That's a good explanation of that situation.
Carlson. Wagner read that one very well with a couple of men crashing right around him. And it was a good job of officiating as well, knowing the fact that the officials want the kids to decide the game, but at the same time, let's explain where that line is, and we're not going to let you get past that line.
There's no confusion then as to
correct
what the directives are from the referee.
Well, there was some nice defense against Judicus, but Bershin will give possession back to Wayzata near midfield. 5 3/4 into the second half. Wayzata, whose girls will be playing for a state title next. Their boys trying to win one here. Pillar got it rejected as it entered the area. Siafa with some nice defense. Maple Grove trying to transition back, trailing 2-0, but Pillar. We've talked about Pillar's assist. His midfield defense has been outstanding in this game.
Absolutely. He's certainly taken my eye as being a player who's got lots of competency. His skill set is good.
Cordero.
And his contribution of service to both goals has just been superb.
Foul called on Maple Grove. Pillar will organize the set piece. Wayzata leading 2-0. 2 Aiden Judicus goals in the first half, both assisted by Charlie Pillar. And Pillar playing the free kick. Pillar. First contact came from Bershin. Into the area it goes with Judicus crashing. Carlson was able to knock it out of there. Pillar will try again, but it was high and outside. Good response by the Maple Grove defense down low. Baker with some backline defense, and there's Charlie Pillar once again. Maple Grove trying a different field here with Karn. Hanson Karn had a goal in the first round over Andover. This is Ethan Smith on the outside. Siafa. Shabika didn't get the mustard on that shot due to a deflection that he wanted. Judicus getting by one defender. Judicus to the outside. He doesn't have anybody down there to help. And Burish with a nice interruption. Barani back towards midfield, but the connection not made with Chabika, who had both goals in the semifinal win over Park. Wayzata will have the throw-in on their offensive third as we are 49 and change into the contest. Wayzata got on the board, 2-12 into the contest. Added another goal at 19:02 in that first half. Barani with a nice read. Good catch-up defense made by Cordero. Providing some help is Mance. Miller on the near side for Maple Grove. Miller. A deflection out. Here's Mance. Outside the area, fire, but wide. A decent look that time from Maple Grove, but the angle just not there.
Yeah, he was very optimistic with that type of effort. It's looking at that, he would have been better off taking it into the penalty box and dribbling it a little bit more. He got anxious and pulled the trigger just a little early.
That was Ike Duell on that shot attempt a moment ago. "50 minutes into the contest. Seeing anything different from Maple Grove this half, Alan?
No, I was just thinking that this is the time where they need to pull a player either forward and put another player down the middle of the field, which might open up the sidelines for defenders to make some overlap runs and get some service in from the sides. But the service so far has just been long balls down the middle and then hopeful attempts on the ball. Needs to play to feet, get the ball back into midfield, and then have somebody who can mastermind some midfield magic, as it were.
A 2-0 lead for Wayzata, chipping it out front. A good look there from Ben Eisinger, but it just went wide. Eisinger ended up getting a step on Miller that time. Eisinger deked Carlson to the near side and tried to go far side post on him, but it just went wide. And that was just some pure hustle, creating a chance for Wayzata. Eisinger, a senior with 7 goals and 5 assists this year. Gavin Chabika. After having the 2 goals against Park, he's obviously been a marked man for Wayzata this year. And earning possession will be Wayzata at their bench. 52 minutes about ready to be elapsed Redmond defended well by Burish. Maple Grove will keep possession. Wayzata on that back line. Once again, Alex Green, the senior defender. Real senior dominated team for this Wayzata group. 15 seniors. They're all a part of a state championship run a year ago. And trying to win a second one in as many years. And a corner coming up from Maple Grove. Duel creating the chance, taking corner responsibility will be Anson Carnan. Third corner of the day for Maple Grove. Karn. Mast had the header chance. Wagner punched it out of there. Keeping it in for the moment was Merritt. Mance down low, tried to touch it forward, but nobody was home, and actually it was a deflection and it goes to the corner, and Maple Grove will have their fourth corner of the game.
And Maple Grove showed a little bit more creativity there, getting the ball into feet in front of the goal. And the shot on goal was deflected, so a little closer.
That time Karn couldn't quite make the connection as they looked for the header chance. One of the backline defenders came up, and it was Owen Bershin that got contact on it but didn't have the great angle. Wayzata still leading 2-0. Two goals came in the first, 19:02. Their first goal came at 2:12, but here is Mance controlling. Smith outside the area right side. Widman with the defense. Smith looked for the cross, but it was corralled out of the air by Wagner. Wagner taking his time to transition downfield. Koivu Kangas, one of the leading scorers on this Wayzata team. Wayzata will keep possession on the throw-in. A couple of new players coming in for Wayzata. Aaron Cabaya, number 22, and Jeremy Cordero, number 19. As Dominic Duenas going to his bench, trying to win his second straight state title. Anoka, the last team to do it in 14 and 15. It would be the first time in the 3-year history of a three-class tournament here in Minnesota that someone has won back-to-back titles on the boys' side. Two nothing Wayzata with the lead. Wayzata, Maple Grove will keep possession with Colin Ames. An interruption there as the ball goes into the trophy table on the far side. Again, the ceremony following the award ceremony on the 3A end of things will be hosted by Ryan Phillips and can be streamed right here on NSPN.TV. Barani will fire it downfield. Getting a step and a good look from Aaron Cabaya, the sophomore, but Beckett Carlson was right there to corral. And Carlson tried to connect with Colin Merritt. Merritt couldn't sustain possession. Up the far side come the Crimson. Into the corner it goes. Cross coming, but Wagner will snag it with two hands. 57 minutes in the books in this 3A boys state title game at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. He's Alan Merrick. He'll be on the call for all of the boys championship games. Hogan Greenwood and Nikki Wright will have the call of the girls game following this one, scheduled to start in about an hour, and that will be Wayzata and Edina. So Wayzata trying to take home 2 trophies in one day. Thomas Tasing. Wayzata playing with the 4 backline defenders right now. That has been their strategy throughout. That backline for Wayzata, for the most part, has been a brick wall here. Not only in this game, but throughout the season. Wayzata has only given up 8 goals all season long. Cordero with some free space. Cordero got denied by Bershin. And Maple Grove trying to transition back. This is Karn. A deflection off Ignatius, and another corner coming up from Maple Grove as they're sensing a little bit more of a sense of urgency here in the second half.
Yeah, they really need something to happen in the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, they've got to really throw the dice.
Karn with a connection, but it was knocked out of there by Wagner. Wayzata tries to keep it in along the near touch line, but Maple Grove there to possess. Caleb Mance, and Ignatius ran into him, and Ignatius, I believe, is going to get a card here. He got a talking to the last time, and this time the referee puts up the yellow card, first yellow of the day on Wayzata, and it comes at 59:04. So Eddie Ignatius, the senior backline defender, will have to head to the bench for a brief period as Beckett Carlson will play the free kick. The organization piece as Beckett Carlson sends that one into the third row.
He actually took a shot at that one. He wasn't trying to find anybody. He was looking for a shot, and he just blazed it across the top of the crossbar.
But at this point, if you're Maple Grove, you're just trying to score in any way, shape, or form, correct?
Absolutely.
We're heading to the halfway point of the half. It is the 2-0 lead for Wayzata here. Keeping possession will be Wayzata as the clock hits down to the halfway point of the half now. 60 minutes complete. 20 minutes for Maple Grove to try to come back from this 2-goal deficit. A throw in on the offensive third for Jackson Widman. Pillar, but Miller clears for the moment. Keeping it in the offensive half was Baker. And Cordero hustles to keep possession. Judicus up the far side. Couldn't quite run it down as Maple Grove will try to transition back. To the near side it goes. Ethan Smith. Mance. Mance with some nice maneuvering. And Wayzata will earn possession. Nice harassment from Miles Redmond to earn the Trojans a possession. 2-0 Wayzata. 2 goals in the first, 1902, both from Aiden Judicus, both assisted by Charlie Pillar. We mentioned this is a senior-dominated team. Judicus, a young man that's a junior, so obviously there's 18 and a half minutes left in this season, but a young man coming back with 15 goals, that's a pretty good kid to build around for next year.
Yeah, it's a wonderful catalyst. And he's performed extremely well. He's shown maturity, and he's got some deft touches, and just a solid worker.
Pillar will play the free kick to the corner, and Winman with the cross. As Beckett Carlson tried to punch it out of there, but the timing didn't allow for contact from Carlson, and it goes out in a goal kick coming up for Carlson. 17 and 3/4 remaining. On a Friday morning here at US Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. He's Alan Merrick. My name is Darren Swenson. Glad you're with us for NSPN's coverage of the 2023 Minnesota State High School Soccer Tournament. 3A girls game coming up next with Edina and Wayzata playing for the top trophy in that class. Maple Grove on the far side.
Well, it looks like Maple Grove has just started to push players forward. They're almost playing with a front four. It would be interesting if they got a little close to the defenders, but they certainly are putting players forward now. Now it's the distribution from midfield or from defenders who get wide. Can they get the ball to them?
Nance plays the throw in short. Aims into the area. Wagner there to gobble it up. Wayzata still up 2-0. Down to 16 and a half remaining in the contest. We mentioned Maple Grove playing with a bit more of a sense of urgency over the last probably 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay. What do you see Wayzata doing to try to control that?
They're not doing much at all. They've got it organized well. They've got a back four that's just sitting solid. They've got a player playing just in front of them as a defensive midfield player, and they're coping well. Maple Grove have not been in the situation where they've been chasing a game for a long time. And so sometimes these winning records come and bite you. It would need the 4 players that are playing up front to get even close to all the defenders and just not give anybody any time at all.
As we mentioned earlier, this is the first time this season that Maple Grove has conceded 2 goals in a game. And I think you bring up an excellent point, Alan. It's great to have that winning record. It's 19-0-1. It's a sign you're a quality team.
Absolutely.
It's a sign everyone's playing well and is on the same page as Pillar. Hustles to get a chance. He's inside the area. He finds Judicus. Judicus got it deflected out, but he regains possession. Judicus to Pillar, and Pillar with the score! A 3-0 lead for Wayzata. Or did they wave it off?
It's offside.
Offside. Flag was up on the far side, and a quick transition back here for Beckett Carlson. It was almost a Judicus to Pillar connection since the first 2 goals were Pillar to Judicus, but the Trojans fans saw that dreaded flag on the far side as the judge was there, and you see the flag on the near side for the offside call now. When you see a ball go in the back of the net and the team conceding the goal is starting to cheer, you say, okay, maybe that didn't happen. Sorry for getting too excited there, folks.
Those are the moments we just cherish.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a transition there because The center is concentrating on the action in the middle of the field. And
absolutely.
Then he looks over to the side, and all of a sudden a whistle needs to get blown. And rightfully so, as Cordero will set up the goal kick for Beckett Carlson.
Yeah, they're certainly pushing players up here now. There are 4 players all congregating going forward. Now they need some support from the midfield players who can give some passing that gets them into good areas.
And obviously we've seen the leg strength of Beckett Carlson on those goal kicks. But firing it into that area with 8 players, 4 offensive, 4 defensive players.
It's a melee. That's why you need to play it up to the target players, get it back into midfield, play it to the flanks, and then get service coming in from the flanks.
A solid analysis of Mr. Alan Merrick. So we're down to 12 3/4 remaining in this one. Wayzata trying to win their 2nd straight title and their 5th title in school history. Their 3rd one since 2017, and a violation at midfield there.
He hit the referee, so
okay.
So they replay or restart it with the possession again. The team who touched the ball last.
That was the reason for the whistle a moment ago. 12 1/4 remaining. Only 1 loss the last 2 seasons. For this Wayzata team, it was to Eden Prairie a year ago. Maple Grove. Their only blemish on the record was a 0-0 draw against Roseville back on Saturday, September 9th. Pillar with a shot but wide. Charlie Pillar has had an excellent game. We know his stats of the 2 assists, but the stuff that doesn't show up on any analytical sheet, that's the stuff that Pillar's been doing all day.
Yeah, he really has played a good game. His tactical awareness is solid, and he's executing passes and also holding the ball at the right times.
I mentioned Maple Grove's record of 19-1 coming in. You look back at the last 2 seasons for Maple Grove, 37 wins, 3 losses, and that 1 draw this year to Roseville. Maple Grove, a state finalist for the 2nd time in their school history. 11th title game appearance for Wayzata. Jackson Widman. Outside the area it goes to Judicus. Judicus trying to maneuver around a couple of defenders. End up in a goal kick for Beckett Carlson. 10 1/4 remaining as we play the 69th minute. 2-0 the lead for Wayzata. Neither team has scored here in the 2nd half. Chipping ahead is Koivu Kangas. Koivu Kangas caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Free kick coming up for Maple Grove, and taking responsibilities will be Beckett Carlson. He'll fire one down into the penalty area. Wayzata there to respond like they have been throughout the day. Karn cleared out of there by Mahan. Obviously, from a result perspective, there's still a 0 on the scoreboard from Maple Grove, but what has the back line of Wayzata done so well today, Alan?
They just held their line and their shape. They haven't really been affected by any of the maneuvers that Maple Grove has attempted. So they've just been able to keep a straight back four with a player sitting in front of them, and so they've been extremely resilient to any of the attacks that they've witnessed.
Isn't it funny how every now and then simplicity tends to lead to success?
Oh yeah, it's the KISS principle is always a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Keep it stupid simple.
Well, I can adhere to probably one of the 4 words on that end of things, but as there is an injury over there on the far side, so with 8 3/4 remaining, a Maple Grove player being attended to. We can't exactly tell who it is right now. Both teams will take the hydration break.
Yeah, it's all cramp. His game is finished here. He's just so tight by the looks of it.
That's Colin Ames that will be assisted to the side. One of the athletic training personnel helping him out, and Beckett Carlson, the keeper for Maple Grove, also helping out. How many Mr. Soccer finalists can play the role of an athletic trainer helping a teammate off the field? That kind of speaks to Beckett's character in my mind.
We'll give him an extra name. We can call him Crutch as well.
There we go.
A good middle name for him.
Well,
his distribution has just been crazy. The distance he gets and the accuracy as well.
And in goal this year, in over 1,600 minutes, he conceded just 7 goals.
Yeah.
Not only was he Crutch, he's been clutch this year.
What was it, something like .22 goals?
Correct. And I know he's probably disappointed for the 2 that he's conceded today, but all in all, those numbers have been...
Well, he's also made 3 saves.
And remarkable saves, too.
Yeah, and they're good saves. It was breakaways and one-on-ones almost. And he managed to hold everything together.
Carlson with a snag out of the air. And you see the athleticism for Carlson. And that's the last snag. Catching it in 2 motions, getting the ball away down into the offensive half for Maple Grove as they start to push the pace a little bit. Ethan Smith couldn't reconnect with Colin Merritt. And controlling is Ben Eisinger. Wayzata 7.5 away from their 2nd straight title. Filler with some free space. Up the near side, Ethan Smith with a nice recovery. Widman from distance. Miller with the interruption. Smith with some nice hustle to keep it in, but Wayzata still in possession. Pillar with some nice hustle. A collision, but a play-on situation ruled by the referee. And Beckett Carlson will clear as we put 73 minutes into the books. Wayzata. Again, 17 appearances at state in the 49-year history of this tournament. It's one thing to get to state. It's another thing to take advantage of the opportunity once you get here. You've been to state 17 times. You made the title game 11 times. That says a lot about the history of Wayzata Trojan soccer.
Yeah, they have a culture that just develops players that every single year they go to the playoffs. Every single year they have winning records.
Only 37 wins, 1 loss, and 4 draws the last 2 years, and they're 6.25 away from win number 38 and state championship number 2 in the last 2 years. And I personally think it's a cool thing. They'll get their medals, they'll get their trophies, they'll go in and shower, and then they'll cheer on their girls' teammates in hopes they win a state title as well.
Absolutely. What a great feat that will be.
But Edina will have something to say about that in the girls' contest coming up. But of course, Maple Grove trying to change the narrative here with a little less than 5 3/4 to go. Neither of these teams with a loss on the season. Maple Grove with 1 draw, Wayzata with 2. Both these teams had to come back and win games in overtime on Wednesday in the semifinals. A look to the outside. It'll end up in a goal kick for Beckett Carlson. We'll have the award ceremony following this broadcast. I'm going to plug into the public address mic. Award ceremonies will be broadcast throughout the day after all of the finals contests here on NSPN.TV. This is the first of 3 games for Allen on the day. No place you would rather be as a soccer aficionado in the state of Minnesota than at U.S. Bank Stadium on the first Friday in November. I can call you an aficionado, can I?
I think so. I just don't know how to spell it.
Yeah. I know how to pronounce it.
There you go.
You know what? If I can say it right 1 out of 5 times, it's probably a success story. Beckett Carlson downfield. And now Wayzata, they had that 4 back. They pretty much are playing 8 on the Maple Grove half of the field, taking away any chance for an opportunity for Maple Grove to make something of something as the foul going to be called.
Yep.
On Mahan, it's just right outside the area on the right side, so with 3.5 minutes remaining, Karn will have an opportunity for a set piece here.
All they need is a good service and somebody getting on the end of it. Anticipating it, wanting it, and then doing it.
Karn into the area.
Off the
crossbar.
Yeah.
Smith still in the area. Pillar will try to clear it out. Maple Grove will keep possession after the restart as we put 77 minutes in the books. Maple Grove will keep possession, but what has been a very solid brick wall on the back line for Wayzata today, the masonry is going to be that much tougher over these final 2.5 minutes in this contest. Wayzata with the 2 goals in this game. Aiden Judicus at 2:12 from Charlie Pillar off of a corner. And Aiden Judicus at 19:02 from Charlie Pillar. Judicus 2 goals, Pillar 2 assists. And Frank Miller with the foul as we're about ready to put 78 in the books. Nobody has scored here in the second half, but basically Wayzata doing what they needed to do with that 2-goal advantage at the halftime break, and they've just been solid and steady here in the half number 2. Fair analysis, Alan?
Fair analysis. Their back 4 has been able to maintain all of the status that they went out with. Took up good positions. Haven't really been tested. And then they've had 2 players that have really they're both players of the game.
Pillar in the corner with 1:15 to go. Getting checked by 3 Maple Grove defenders. Maple Grove will have possession with 1 1/4. Last Minnesota boys team to win back-to-back titles was Anoka in 14 and 15. Wayzata trying to pull the feet this time. Right side with it. Beckett Carlson with the denial. But a corner coming up as we go inside of a minute. We have entered minute number 80. Wayzata 50 seconds away from a state championship for the second year in a row and the fifth time in school history. Maple Grove with a nice representation in their second straight state appearance and their first one in 25 years. Wayzata with no hurry here. Siafa out near midfield as Baker continuing to play well on the back line as we're down to 15 seconds remaining. Carlson with the kick as the countdown is on the public address. For the fifth time in school history and for the second straight year, the tallest trophy in boys Class 3A is heading to Wayzata. Trojans 2, Crimson 0. A 2-year record.
But it was well
of 31 or 38, 1-4 for Wayzata in these two championships years.
It was well deserved. They played well. Two good teams, some great characters out there, and credit to the standard of soccer that's being performed in Minnesota.
No doubt about it. Aiden Judicus with both goals. And Charlie Pillar with both assists. Here in the next couple of minutes, we will be sending it down to Ryan Phelps on the sidelines here at US Bank Stadium. Alan, your final thoughts on the boys' 3A title game?
An exciting game. Two players took control in the first half, Pillar and Judicus, and that was all she wrote.
Alan, great working with you. Have fun for the next two boys' games here today, and if they're half as fun as this one, it'll be twice as fun for everybody else, right?
Well, I've enjoyed myself so much. I'm also going to do a girls' go. The last girls' game.
All right. So 3 more games for you today.
Yep.
So you're having so much fun and doing a great job with the analysis. We will let you be doing that. Alan, great working with you, and great working with the